Good evening, Liberty lovers. It's so cold outside. I'm coming to you in my Patriot Comrade winter hat. So cold. Wednesday, February 26th, I believe. Over here in my little Serenity area with the succulents. But just finished listening to the president's speech, and um, very conflicted about it. First and foremost, absolutely love this president. Very thankful for the president. Respect, which I've respected every president, even though I might not agree with them or voted for them. I have still to respect them because, as an American, it is our duty to respect our president. At least that's how I feel. That's how I was raised. Um, Judging by, first off, today was the second, I guess, briefing with the CDC and Senate, and that was a couple of hours, the hearing, and I listened to the entire thing. So, the president this evening, his job is to obviously have confidence in our country, um, stop the fear of, stop any sort of fear with the population, um, reassure citizens that they're doing the absolute best they can under the certain circumstances that we're dealing with, and just to assure that we don't have anything to worry about. So for that, he's definitely getting 100. He did a damn good job of that. But looking at facial expressions, looking at the use of language, there's a lot of contradictory, there's a lot of things that were just contradicting each other. He said we only have 15 confirmed cases, but we took in another 40, just from the cruise ship. So it's we don't have just 15, and he said he calls them the original 15. Some of them have been sent home to stay in their house, self quarantine. Now, hopefully, they stay in their house, and hopefully, they put the health and of this nation and the rest of the citizens above themselves. I would like to think that's what I would do, but for people that need a pack of cigarettes or whatever, hopefully, I'm just gonna run to the store real quick and just go get whatever I need. Hopefully they would call somebody and have that errand done for them, but only that person will know. So he says that this isn't the first time he spoke about it. He spoke about it like a week after, basically December 31st, January 1st is when it came aware that there was a problem. So he spoke about it, I think, like a week or two in January. But I guess this would be the first major speech or press conference that he gave to address the public. He appointed Mike Pence to basically keep him up to date, but to stay over, talk to the doctors, CDC, scientists, and just kind of stay in the loop, which is cool. One of the press conferences was, is Mike Pence a czar? You said you weren't going to appoint a czar, reference to the Ebola with Obama and how Trump said that it was silly to have a czar over Obama, which at the time I do agree. That was a real panic, spread through the media, and I don't. I definitely think it's awesome that he did appoint Pence, especially because they're in the White House together and they would see each other on a daily basis. Trump did mention that he's been talking to these doctors and CDC for almost every day for 2 weeks now. However, he was just in India for 2 days, so I'm assuming not those days, obviously, but I'm sure he was still in contact. Now, the things that kind of bother me is listening to the hearing today that was several hours long, it would there was questions like, are schools in America need to be, I guess, training or getting ready for this? Is a spread or a pandemic probable? What should Americans be doing? All these questions, were asked and raised. Congress is at first wanting $2.5 billion. Maybe some conservatives, Republicans are saying $4 billion. Democrats are wanting to give $8.5 billion. Like Trump said, this is the first time they really ever upped the money. And he said, the money would be used for hospitals and quarantine centers. And he did a real good job telling the citizens of this country not to be afraid, to continue your everyday life. It was an underlying message, to start getting prepared, stay prepared. You should always be prepared, which I definitely agree with that. But there's very tricky, unless you've been following this, most people actually probably didn't even pick up. And actually, I think Rush Limbaugh did this country a very dishonest service by saying that this is just like a flu. It's getting hyped up to hurt the president, which the head of CDC is Rod Rosenstein's sister, or sister-in-law, I believe sister. And so, we got Never Trumpers, hopefully with their ideology be put ahead of the health and well-being of the citizens of this country. I would like to think not, but who knows? One of the things that Trump did shut down the air traffic, people visiting from China, coming in and out of China. We have taken American nationals from other nations that have been affected, but that's about all we're taking. He was asked if he was going to stop allowing people from Italy and Spain to come. As we know now, it's been a week and a half, and they're having a pretty big outbreak. The things that I guess have me concerned is there's definitely a shortage on certain supplies, definitely dehydrated food, masks, and things like this. A lot of these things are outsourced nowadays. The dehydrated food, maybe not so much, but especially things like masks and stuff like this. Like I said, Goldman Sachs says that there is definitely going to be a disruption in the supply chain. He was asked about the stock market, and Trump never doesn't take advantage of a situation, but he blames it on the Democrat debates. And he did acknowledge it was probably Corona, but I would like to think that it was mainly because of Corona. I really don't think the Democrats have a shot. Socialism, it sounds good to the younger generation, but it's not a viable. It's definitely not it's not going to work in this country. There's no way it's going to work. Too many people with money will leave. Business owners will shut down, and it's just not going to work. But with the supply chains being, affected, Walmart putting out a statement saying that it's very possible within 3 months they will not have anything on the shelves. The shipments coming in from the manufacturing powerhouse of the world, China, has completely stopped. There's websites where you can track shipping containers and things, and you can see all along the coast of China. I mean, they're just parked there, and that's one of the big concerns of China about how they're feeding everybody. But to bring it back home, San Francisco declared a state of emergency. They're saying there's nothing to worry about, that it's only for precautions. But at the same time, there's over 7,000 people in self-quarantine in California. And this is a fact right here. They've tested less than 500 people. They're saying they don't have test kits to test people. And there's reports that the ones that they do have are faulty and are not accurate. So, Mike Adams today says that a whistleblower in the DHS that he knows, he's not ready to go on record, but presented the case and the evidence to him that this is an actual bio attack, and that uh, several days ago they knew that there were a little under 1,000, and the R naught number is more like 6 and not the 2 or the 4 that it was brought up in today's press conference. And the R naught means like every 10 people I come in contact, 6 will get infected. With that number in a 20 cycle, that's 250,000 people. I don't think there would be a state of emergency. I don't think there would be 7,000 people in quarantine, and I don't think there would be several quarantine centers opening up across the country. I just I hope and pray. I really do. This is nothing. I really do. But at the same time, understand that the president does have a job, and it's to keep its citizens calm, it's to keep law and order, and it's to keep us from panicking. And he did the damn thing tonight. He really did. But at the same time, look at the facts. You know, do a little bit of research. He says the numbers in China have actually gone down, but we know for a fact that the only people they're counting are people in the hospitals. They're not counting the bodies on the side of the road. They're not counting the bodies they're finding in the house. And they ran out of test kits. So they can't confirm cases because they don't have the test kits. I mean, these are all articles. This is all documentation. It is not no crazy theories or anything. This is some messed up facts. And hopefully today, with the president's press conference, it has calmed enough people down to where everyone still has a chance to stock up. You know, be prepared. They think that there's even a comment saying that, you know, it would take 1.5 years for a vaccine to happen, which might be finished for the time next year, because there's a probable chance that it may come back again. So, you know, the thing is, you know, Brazil's got a case. The thing is, nobody knows, man. Every day is a new day. Every day new facts are coming out. My kids are going to school. I'm going to work. You know, we haven't halted life, but you need to start discussing these types of things. You need to start getting these ideas in your head, talking to the people on your street, talking to family. You know, in my opinion, just start trying to, you know, don't make people freak out, you know, but what's being said and what's not being said are two different stories. And there's articles and there's facts saying that this is not just going to be like the Ebola thing years ago. This is, you know, he stated that more people die from flu in America, you know, around a minimum of 3,000 a year. The very next line was, make sure you get your flu shots, you know, which we know from last year, 4 out of 5 people that got the flu shots ended up perishing. So, so many facts all over the place. I can't really, you know, I just, you know, you still got a little bit of time. Get your ducks in a row. I don't think we're out of the wind. I hope this is it. I hope there's nothing to worry about. I hope these 15 originals, as he calls it, go home. He said one's doing really bad, might not make it. And then the 40-something from the cruise ship, hopefully they get all better and that's it. But I just don't think there'd be centers opening up, you know, big centers, quarantine centers opening up. Alabama, California, New Mexico, Arizona, one in the Northeast. You know, back to the Mike Adams thing real quick. He was saying that the whistleblower is saying that there's probably 4,000 walking around right now. Don't even know that this is, you know, even though we had banned the flights coming in from China, they could have took a flight somewhere else and then took a flight here. I'm not throwing anything out the window. We're talking about some real tyrannical leaders around the world that would love nothing else to see than for this best country in the world fall, and I hope that's not where we're starting to see the beginning of that. But you know, just do right by your family, prepare, and depend on yourself, because I really don't think there's going to be anyone else that can save you except yourself. So you got a little bit of time, maybe get some silver. Stock market's down over 2,000 points, second day since the release of the information. Is factories have been shut down, even though they've been shut down over a month now. They're definitely keeping information out of mainstream media, and you have to go to different sources to find this, and check news from around the world, and stay up to date with marfrugalnews.com. You know, definitely not trying to worry anybody, definitely not trying to freak anybody out. I just want people to understand now is the time to prepare. There's videos, coming out from the East crying. There's nothing, they can't get any help. No one is helping them. They don't have no food. They're watching their family perish in front of their eyes from starving. That's got to be rough. Make sure you, personally, what I did, store brand, everything, the cheap stuff, I got a lot more for a lot less. And instead of getting the better items that taste better, I would have had a lot less for a lot more. So just make sure you take care of your loved ones, and get right with the Creator. Peace. Thanks for checking this out. Don't get worried, don't get upset. Just do something about it. That way when the time comes, do like me. I ain't worried. I ain't upset. I wish everybody that watches this video gets in the same boat. The wife told me today again, at first thought you were going a little overboard, and I'm very thankful. Thanks for taking care of your family. So everyone really needs to do that. Take care of your family. That's really all you got in this world. Everything else doesn't matter. Be part of the world, not of the world. Make sure you can take care of your family. Peace.